It's Tuesday, June 19th, 2018, and I'm the Batman. Just kidding. But it is Tuesday, June 19th, 2018. Welcome to Van Ratten 10 on Sports. And what are we going to talk about? Well, you saw it down in the comments. I got 3 teams for you. 3, count them. 3, 1, 2, 3. 3 teams that nobody's really talking about that LeBron could go to and make them great. Now, first off, let's just say this. Any team that is a relative contender is probably going to get talked about by somebody somewhere. I'm sure there's somebody out there that's making a case for the Phoenix Suns and the Sacramento Kings that LeBron could go there and make them an instant champion. But I'm going to give you 3 teams that are on the cusp. The cusp. And they just need LeBron. And they might have to re-sign a couple of their own players. But if you know you have LeBron coming there, you would sign. And I know that there have been a lot of teams that have been mentioned. A lot of them. All of them have been mentioned. Even Boston. People have been mentioning Boston. LeBron should go to Boston. Wait, Kyrie's there. Kyrie left Cleveland to get away from LeBron. You think Kyrie is hoping LeBron comes to Boston? It's like, it amazes me when I hear the experts say this. The experts. I'm just a schmuck. Even I know LeBron is not going to Boston. He's not even going to go talk to Boston. And it's only because Kyrie doesn't want him there, and he's not going to go anywhere he's not wanted. So here's 3 teams, and I'm going to give you some, I think, good reasons why. So, one of these teams is in the East. The other 2 are in the West. So let's start with the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Minnesota Timberwolves have some great young talent, especially in Karl Anthony Towns and Wiggins. Now, the problem with Karl Anthony Towns is they have not re-signed him yet. He's got a team option for next year, and that's it. 2018, 2019, there's a team option for Karl Anthony Towns. Now, remember, this is a guy that averages 21 points and 12 rebounds a game. And they're going to get him for next to nothing next year, because I can't imagine Minnesota not picking up the team option on their like $7.5 million they would owe him next year. But you're going to have to pay him. You're going to have to pay him Andrew Wiggins money, pretty much. But Karl Anthony Towns averages 21 points, 12 rebounds. Team option for next year. You want to know how you would sign Karl Anthony Towns? Bring LeBron James. Karl Anthony Towns will sign for a little less, not a lot less. Don't sign for a lot less, Karl. Little less. Just a little bit. Just to make it easy on the But Minnesota's not a bad place to live. It's a nice place to live. Lots of people like to live there. It'd be a nice place for him to go. Now, let's take all the weird things out of the equation that somehow he has to be with his family. That just seems odd to me. I'm just kidding. But there's a team in place. Butler, 22 points, 5 rebounds a game. You got Teague there, 14 points, 3 rebounds per game. Now, those 2 players have player options for 2019-2020. So they'll pretty much be there next season. But like I said, you bring in LeBron, they may pick up their player options so that they can stay for 2019-2020. They have a guy named Zhang, 6 points, 5 rebounds, and Taj Gibson. Taj Gibson only has 1 year left on his contract, but he's a solid player, 12.7 rebounds, but he's 32. That team has a good combination of youth and experience. With Karl Anthony Towns and Jermaine Wiggins, you got some good youth. With Butler, Teague, Zhang, and Gibson, good veterans. So LeBron would be stepping into a place where Butler can take the shots. Not to mention you got talented young players like Wiggins and Towns. And I think LeBron would only stay there for 2 years anyway. I don't know how much longer LeBron really wants to play. But somehow 2 years seems like the thing for him. He seems to want to do this 2 years at a time and kind of gauge where he is. So going to Minnesota, makes sense because there's a lot of talent there, and there's some good young talent and some good veteran talent. So you'd have a good mixture. Uh, and by what I see, there's nobody really there that is really a big assist guy. Teague, 7 assists a game, but I'm guessing you can let LeBron have the ball half the time. Teague's not really going to fight you too much on having the ball when he's coming up the court. But the problem becomes, well, where does LeBron play? Um, you might have to move Towns to center. Wiggins might have to move to power forward, which would probably way be out of where he wants to be, to put LeBron at the 3. Um, but then a lot of times LeBron's playing point, so maybe Teague's the one on the bench. I don't know. It's not the perfect fit, but I think they make it work, and they could really make that team great. Now, there might be, none of these teams are perfect. There's no perfect team for LeBron right now. I went over the 76. To me, actually, the closest to the perfect is the Rockets. And I went over this already. I talked about the Rockets, the 76ers, the Nuggets, and the Lakers. Those are good fits for him. The Rockets, I think, are the best fit. But these are just 3 teams nobody's talking about. So then we're going to move on to the New Orleans Pelicans. Now, this is heavy on if the New Orleans Pelicans can re-sign Boogie. If they can't re-sign Boogie Cousins, because he was in the last year of his contract, then this doesn't work. Because just LeBron and Anthony Davis, there's still a lot of talent on that team, and there's some sneaky talent on that team. But you would need Boogie. Boogie Cousins, when he was healthy, 25 points, 5 assists, 13 rebounds a game. This is alongside Anthony Davis's 28 points and 11 rebounds a game. That is a super talented front court. And of course, you wouldn't have to move Anthony Davis or Boogie Cousins. Boogie plays the 4, and then Anthony Davis plays the 5, or you flip-flop those 2 around, and you still put LeBron at the 3. They also had Miratek. They got him from the Chicago Bulls used to have Miratek. And I remember it was the guy from Michael Wilbon from Pardon the Interruption was actually very sad when Miratek left. He liked Miratek. You have Drew Holiday at 19 points, 6 assists, and 4.5 rebounds a game. Etwan Moore, 12.5 points a game. There's talent on that team, and you put LeBron there. There's a lot of talent, not to mention Boogie Cousins, 27, Anthony Davis, 25, Drew Holiday, 28, Miratek, 27, Etwan Moore, 29. Veteran team. The youngest guy is, of course, your best player, Anthony Davis, but core veteran team. One wild card on that team, Rajon Rondo. Will Minnesota sign him? Would LeBron want Rajon Rondo to be signed? Or would he just rather, bring the ball up himself? This would almost be perfect for LeBron because LeBron could bring the ball up himself and not even have to worry about a point guard, because if Rajon Rondo's gone, you really don't have a point man. So that way LeBron really could fill out the role of being a point. He could bring the ball up every time, and he'd have Boogie Cousins and Anthony Davis and Drew Holiday. I think you could really make the case that team could be very, very strong. Even in the West, they could be extremely strong. It'd be tough to beat a front court of LeBron, Boogie, and Anthony Davis. That is a big, talented front court. I think even Golden State would have a hard time with that. To me, you get a couple of defensive guards that can maybe slow down, not stop, but slow down Curry and Klay Thompson. And I think I think Boogie could harass Durant all day long. I think Boogie would kind of push him around a little bit. I don't know if Boogie ever really covers him, but I think Boogie would in a playoff situation. And even not Anthony Davis, long and lean like Durant. I think Anthony Davis would give him a hard time. Now the last team I have on this list is a little controversial, and it's the team out of the East. And you're thinking, well, what young team out there? I looked at the Washington Wizards, not really a fit. I looked at even the Detroit Pistons because they have Drummond, they have Um, what's his face? It was with the Clippers, Griffith. And they don't have a bad team there. And LeBron might be able to put him over the top, but it's a little old. And Griffith is, to me, he's pretty much, I think, on the downside of his career. Too many injuries. The Toronto Raptors. I know, you're probably sitting there going, shut up, Randy, you're an idiot, you're stupid, never work, you're a moron. Hear me out. Look at this team. Lowry, DeRozan, and Ibaka. With Valanciunas and then CJ Miles. Now, I know what you're saying. Valanciunas, who the heck is that? 13 points, 9 rebounds a game. Serge Ibaka, 12.7 rebounds a game. DeRozan, 23 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. Lowry, 16.7 assists, 6 rebounds. It's a veteran team. 32 years old for Lowry, 28 for DeRozan. Ibaka's 28. Valanciunas is 26. And CJ Miles is 31. Now, Valanciunas has a player option in 2019-2020, but he is going to be there in 2018 or 2018-2019, so he'll be there next season. But if you can't beat him, bring him to your team. Now, I know it's Canada. Toronto may be more of a long shot than even Sacramento. Sacramento probably has a better chance of getting LeBron James than, Toronto, because it's like not a lot of people want to play in Canada only because it costs too much. It's very expensive to live up in Canada. LeBron's $80 million over 2 years isn't going to go as far. And Toronto is an eastern Canadian city, whereas if they still had a Vancouver team, the Vancouver Grizzlies, at least it would be on the west side of Canada. But that team won the Eastern Conference in the regular season. There's a lot of talent on that team. Now you add LeBron James to that team, and the one player that always seems to knock them out of the playoffs is now on their team. Can you believe it? The Toronto Raptors will be invincible. They never lose because now the guy that always beats them will be on their team. That's right. LeBron to the Toronto Raptors, and they will win the championship next year. They will win the 2019 NBA title. Will go to the Toronto Raptors if LeBron James goes there. Otherwise, the Toronto Raptors are probably going to struggle. Although, if LeBron goes and plays in the West, who knows how good Toronto would be, because they never have to lose to him until they got to the finals, maybe. And that's if LeBron can get out of the West when he still has to go through, he still has to go through Golden State at the very least. So, what do you think about those 3 wildcard teams? I've thought about doing one where I take like the 3 worst teams and then trying to stick some of the free agents on there that are going to be available, and maybe seeing if I can turn a team that's terrible, but adding LeBron and a few choice free agents could turn them into a contender. But I will be the one being the GM, I will be the one being the owner, and I am going to spend the money. So what do you think? Do you think LeBron would ever go to any one of those teams? So let me know down in the comments below. And with all that being said, to the troops, past, present, and future, thanks for the freedom.